Joe Biden is currently sitting in the office. He is running from a position of being a sitting president. He's also a Democrat, and he has a campaign record to run on. And at the end of the day, what this election will come down to is competence versus chaos. And people are not going to want to see another 4 years of Donald Trump.
Now, Donald Trump's last remaining challenger for the Republican presidential nomination is insisting she won't pull out.
The next president of the United States, Nikki Haley.
I said earlier this week that no matter what happens in South Carolina, I would continue to run for president. I'm a woman of my word. America will come apart if we make the wrong choices. This has never been about me or my political future. We need to beat Joe Biden in November. I don't believe Donald Trump can beat Joe Biden. Now is the time to renew that belief. Now is the time to remember who we are. We're citizens of the greatest country in human history. And we must lead now more than ever before. I'm grateful to South Carolina. I always have been and I always will be. And I'm grateful that today is not the end of our story. We're headed to Michigan tomorrow. And we're headed to the Super Tuesday states throughout all of next week.
The former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley lost her home state of South Carolina to Trump over the weekend. But despite that, Haley says she will carry on until Super Tuesday a week tomorrow. That's when 15 states choose their preferred candidate on the same night. So what's Nikki Haley's game plan here? I've been speaking to Republican strategist Mary Anna Mancuso.
Well, Nikki Haley has said that she's going to take this all the way through to Super Tuesday, and some of my sources are saying she's looking to take this to convention in the summer and is hoping to do a brokered convention, but we're not really sure what's going to happen after Super Tuesday. That's all we know is that she's in until Super Tuesday, and she's hoping to serve an upset. She's hoping to go to convention. At this point, there's a lot of speculation of what her end game is here.
Well, this is it. What is the logic? What is the thought process? Very often, when it becomes clear that a candidate has no realistic route to the nomination, they drop out because these are incredibly expensive campaigns to run. So why would Nikki Haley stick in the race when it seems pretty clear that the Republican faithful want Donald Trump?
Well, you said it right there. The Republican faithful want Donald Trump, in that there are Republicans that are part of the Republican Party that don't want Donald Trump to be the nominee, and she's still raising money, and so she still has some runway, even though many of us have to squint to see the pathway to a presidential nomination.
Good point you raised about the fundraising, because I think I'm right in saying in South Carolina, albeit her home state, but she obviously didn't win it, she actually outraised Trump.
You know, the thing is that people are trying to see something different. We're seeing that Trump's numbers are weakening. He's fighting off 4 different court battles while trying to campaign. And there's a lot of speculation around if he's going to find himself in jail and if he can even become the president in 2025.
Is there also an element here, Mary Anna, of part of the GOP establishment, that the part who doesn't like Donald Trump and would rather have a Nikki Haley type figure, they want someone from the, whether you want to call it the moderate wing of the party, the traditional wing of the party, making a Republican case against Trump. And they are willing to bankroll that even if it doesn't derail Donald Trump.
We've seen not only Republicans funding into Nikki Haley's campaign, but we've also seen Democrats. And right now, one of the biggest things that we're having in terms of analysts and trying to understand and make sense of what's going on in the Republican primary is really what the appetite is among Republicans who are peeling off from Trump, because we are seeing that not only are independents and Republicans, but also Democrats are showing up in these open primary states like South Carolina was. So we're really trying to make sense of what this is and what the strength is Nikki Haley has versus what is this just people crossing over and voting Nikki Haley because they're merely voting against Donald Trump.
How critical is she being of Donald Trump on the campaign trail? And do you think we will see her becoming increasingly critical? I mean, when Chris Christie, for example, the former New Jersey governor, ran in this cycle, he's now pulled out, he was pretty clear that he was like a wrecking ball for Donald Trump. He just wanted to do as much damage to Donald Trump as possible. Now, Nikki Haley has clearly had her eyes on the nomination, but do you think we'll see her adopt a similar strategy where she'll just go after Trump?
She's starting to go after him now, and really the best way to go after Donald Trump is to make him spend money. And that was what she's doing the longer she stays in this race, is she's forcing him to spend money in the primary election that otherwise he wouldn't have to if in fact he became the nominee and she just dropped out.
Just finally, Mary Anna, as we approach the end of February, it looks increasingly likely like it will be a Trump-Biden rematch again, despite the concerns over Biden's age, despite the ongoing legal problems facing Donald Trump. If you look at most of the polls currently, Trump is in the lead, but I've heard many analysts saying the fundamentals remain in Biden's favour. This is an almost impossible question, but if it is Trump-Biden again in November, who is your money on as things stand?
As things stand right now, my money is on Joe Biden.
Why?
Well, look, we've seen this song and dance in America before. In 1892, we saw a rematch of two former presidents, Benjamin Harrison versus Grover Cleveland. Grover Cleveland was the Democrat, and he won back over Benjamin Harrison, making Benjamin Harrison a single-term president. And what this tells me is that Joe Biden is currently sitting in the office. He is running from a position of being a sitting president. He's also a Democrat, and he has a campaign record to run on. And at the end of the day, what this election will come down to is competence versus chaos. And people are not going to want to see another 4 years of Donald Trump.
As Republican strategist Mary Anna Mancuso.